You're listening to the Zandbergen Report, where wealth strategies and investment wisdom collide with Bart Zandbergen, your distinguished host and certified financial planner.
Welcome to the Zandbergen Report, a showcase for wealth strategies and investment wisdom that's essential for our evolving world. I'm your host, Bart Zandbergen. Paul?
Yes, sir.
I have to say, I've gone the last 2 weeks, and I really have really missed you.
Well, good. We missed you, too. and I just want to make a point here that I know who your guest is, and are you going to reveal it in a moment here, but they've been on some of our shows a couple times here. I'm starting to get a feeling that some of you are trying to tell me something here. I'm not sure what it is, but...
Well, with that lead-in, we'll leave the listeners in a bit of suspense for just a moment. I'd love to introduce a very good friend of mine, Alyssa Reese with Bespoke Style. Alyssa, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
It's so great to have you on the show. So for listeners, they know that beyond my finance day job, I have some other passions, and beyond fitness and wine and style or fashion happens to be one. And Alyssa, you have been kind of a conduit slash, I was going to say like crack dealer, but something.
Oh, wow. Crack.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it works like that. What do you think about this? And then, one thing leads to another, and I end up buying way more than I should. But in any event, Alyssa, welcome to the show. And do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got to be a stylist in the men's fashion world?
Sure. I just come from a super creative background. I have a lot of creative people in my family, so I think it was one of those things that was just, in my blood to do.
Yeah.
So as I've just grown up, I've just done a lot when it comes to design and working with my aunt. She owns a boutique in Temecula, so I did a lot with her and loved styling and buying and all that good stuff. So doing that as well as going to design school and just working my way up through boutiques and actually planning weddings and just all different things design.
Yeah.
Kind of led me to
right.
menswear.
Can I, for 1 second, I know she's went to design school, not broadcast school. When I moved the mic closer, she still moved farther away. So we got to get trying to get her to be really close there.
Close,
so we
sorry.
can hear this. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's obnoxiously close.
Oh, I know. There we go.
All right. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but just to give, I think, the listeners some perspective, tell everybody what Bespoke does and who they serve.
Bespoke is a custom clothing company. We typically actually primarily menswear is where we started. We do everything from formal to casual wear, you name it. We dress, your everyday businessmen to professional athletes and everything in between. We just offer a really unique product. I think that we kind of bring something different to the table because I know that there's a lot of different clothiers out there, but we just have a lot of fun and get to know our clients and build relationships, and I think that's something that sets us apart, and we get to work with people like you that like to wear fun clothes, so it makes my job more fun.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Great. Well, just to give a little bit more color to that and a little more background, so we've been working together for, you've been 5 years now?
I think it's been like 4.
4? Okay, so 4 years. I became, as you know, a customer or client of Bespoke and Dave's about it's almost 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
There is some argument that I might be his, not oldest in age, but longest client, we'll put it that way.
Definitely the best.
And what's really kind of kept me and what's drawn me is first of all the service that you guys provide and the great product, but also the kind of the expertise. When I first went to Dave, I was early in my career and was trying to build a wardrobe, and I know you're going to talk more about this, but so he said, we're going to start with the basics. And I remember this was 25 years ago, and although I still think it applies today, he started me out with a 3-piece houndstooth suit and a 3-piece black suit. And while the audience may be laughing about what comes next, it was really, really cool because from that, I can't do in my head the number of degrees or exponentially, but if you take 3 pieces and 3 pieces and you mix them, for instance, black slacks, houndstooth vest, houndstooth jacket, black pants, black vest, houndstooth jacket. You can go on like that forever and ever and have so many different looks. It's kind of like when we see Paul in here every week.
I knew it was going to come back to me
You knew it was
sooner or
gonna
later.
get you. I'll leave that one alone. So anyway, and then you even taking the jacket and wear with jeans. So there were so many things, and I think the listeners would really appreciate knowing that, hey, I'm not just going and buying one look or one outfit, if you will, but how you can really translate that into so many different things.
Yeah, I think it's really an investment. And what we try to do with our expertise is, build outfits that you can wear, so many different ways. So you're really getting more for, your money, I guess you could say. So that's something that's fun. That's what I do, is a lot of the styling and mixing and showing my clients that you can mix textures and colors and patterns and how to build off of that, and not just see one suit, but see, 6 or 7 different outfits out of that one suit,
Exactly.
or 2 suits, whatever you choose to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we try to maximize your investment with us.
Right. So it also occurred to me that while you and I, and probably Paul, know what bespoke means, but the general audience might not. You want to help define what bespoke is?
Bespoke is just an old term, and it's basically just a way of saying that it's, that clothing is bespoken for you, it's made for you, it's custom for you, it's just, a complete experience that's your own. So
Yeah.
it's not something that you can buy off the rack. So yeah, it's just basically a fancy word for custom.
Yeah. And that's what I always thought, but I've never heard of it like bespoken. I love that definition. That's the first time I've actually heard that.
I actually have a lot of people that ask me that, or they'll see a bespoke suit and they're always like, "Oh, I saw your company," and I'm like, "Oh no, that's a term. We do that, but that might not be our company. Sometimes it is, which is really cool if you see some stuff in magazines, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not." So
Yeah, right. Again, I don't want to make assumptions that the listeners know exactly what happens when you go get a custom suit or custom outfit. You want to just kind of walk through the process. Someone comes in, I knock on your door, I need something. What happens next?
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, for you, for instance, a lot of people come in and they have an idea of what they're looking for, whether it be a wedding or just a new suit for business or an event that they're going to. There's always a general occasion or just a need. So that's where I kind of start. Come in, just get to know the person, talk to you a little bit about, what you want, what you have in your closet already is a big one, because I want to build off that, or, get you something that might be a little more updated of the same version, just depending on, again, the need of that. But so I would talk, through the process, and we'd go through fabrics and pick something that fits your lifestyle, and then from there go through all the details down to the stitching. I mean, we'll choose buttons, linings, pocket styles, the thickness of your lapel. It's really, really a personal experience. And then from there, we'll take about 40 measurements of your body to create a pattern for you. And then after that's all said and done, I go to the back and do all my design work and polish it up and send it off to the factory. And then about 5 to 6 weeks later, once everything comes in, we'll call you in, we'll do a quick fitting, and hoping all fits well. But sometimes with first-time clients, we might have a few nip tucks. That's why we have a tailor with us on staff. And then, you're good to go. Once your pattern's dialed in with us, it's really an easy, fun process. And like working with you, I get to get really creative. I have guys that just come in and say, "This is what I want."
Yeah.
So
That's one of my favorite things to do now.
yeah, it makes it easy because it's
Yeah.
fun. I get to go in the back and
Yeah.
get a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered with the button type anymore or the lining. So we do such a great job at that. You're obviously a woman, and you're in what I would call a predominantly kind of a man's world. Not only did with male clients, but I think 90-some% of your peers or stylists are going to be men. My guess. What's that been like for you?
It's been fun. I'm definitely in a man's world, that's for sure. Being pretty much the only woman running around the office in there, but I'd say it's been really cool because I've gotten to build different relationships with the clients. and I give a different eye and I think a different flair to the business because, I'm just a girl, so it's just totally different to give my opinion versus having the owner Dave or somebody else. So we kind of, we'll lean on each other every now and again to get an opinion for a client. But, I definitely feel like I have to prove myself a little more at times because, it's just the name of the game.
Right.
But I think I'm doing a good job paving my own way and doing all my styling and just trying to, build off that.
I definitely think so. And as much as I love Dave, and we're kind of like brothers who've known each other for so long, and I do appreciate his opinion, but I've really appreciated yours/a woman's opinion too on style. And I think that to me that's really important, and so it's one of the reasons I really like working with you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I love it. It's so much fun.
So I thought of something else that you're kind of downplaying. I think a little bit. You're being a little bit shy or modest on the stuff that you do, and I know that one of the things that you've done for me and some of the people I've referred you to is you may go to the house, go through the closet, and actually kind of go through the cleaning out and using that as helping you with your baseline and get rid of. Let's tailor this. I think that's a really cool service.
Yeah, I think that's what's different about what I'm creating in my business is I want to do a lot more of the styling aspect of it. I love designing. It's fun, but it's also fun to get in the closet and get to know what you're wearing and, what I can work off of, how to pair things to just maximize, your brand.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of styling, traveling for clients and stuff of that sort, which is really fun. So.
Yeah. So another thing that I think is interesting in business. I'm just almost finishing a book called Begin with the Why. So what's the why for you? I'm not even talking about you. So what's the why for you? Why do you do what you do?
I love creativity. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And this job allows me to get just creative in so many different ways. And I think for me, there was a misconception about menswear when I first got into the industry. I was like, this sounds kind of fun. I'll see, what I can do with it. But as I've gone on with it more and more, I'm realizing how important it is to do what I do. So I have a lot of fun. So I guess that's why it's building confidence for, guys walking into a business meeting. I want them to feel and look their best. And that's why I do it.
All right. I love it. All right. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
When you use the Premier Rewards Gold Card from American Express, the rewards points can keep on multiplying. Buy 3 with triple points on airfare. Buy 2 with double points on gas and groceries. And a single point for pretty much every other dollar you spend on the card. Then, start choosing from over 1 million rewards to redeem all those points. Apply today and the annual fee for the first year is on us. Call 1-800-AXP-GOLD or visit AXPGold.com. The annual fee for the card is $175. See terms, conditions, and restrictions at AXPGold.com.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
We're back with Bart and his guests. I got to ask one question. I mean, it's a running joke here that I don't dress well. I dress very loosely. What should we say? And that was the style of my time. I'm an aging baby boomer. I'm an old hippie, and we revolted against our parents in the suits and all that. So, we all just tried to wear shorts and flip flops and T-shirts for everything that we did. That was the ethic kind of that we carried through. And I see now. I'm much older than everybody here. I'm in my early 60s here. I see so many people today, the younger guys like my son-in-law, gravitating back to style. Works in a bank. Bart, very stylish to dress. We have other show hosts here like Rad Gantos who uses your service too. I see style returning into menswear, and I guess I'm pleased to see that my father would be. So is it generational? Is it, or am I just the last of a dying breed of old hippies that refuses to grow up and stop wearing tie-dye T-shirts and torn jeans there?
I actually do think it's generational. I have a lot of friends now that are my age. I'm 29, and they're getting really into fashion and dressing up and a little bit more formal than they used to be. It's kind of more of a trend right now to really step up your wardrobe. You know, people aren't really renting suits or tux anymore for weddings.
Yeah.
Everybody wants something in their closet. So fashion's becoming kind of a fun thing for guys.
Yeah.
Again, I guess.
I love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, this is somewhat related. I think that the general audience will probably assume, hey, the only time I'm going to go in there is if I need either a tux for a wedding or a suit for work. But as you and I know, and I'll let you elaborate on this, is there's so many different types of looks that are acceptable and that you can help with. I mean, I'll just give an example and I'll let you elaborate. So, of course, we have, kind of a standard business outfit, but then we also have more business casual, and then there might be evening out with, the wife or the girlfriend. There's formal events. And I know that in some cases you can kind of, either they're separate outfits and or you can mix and match. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I think there's a way to do it. Depending on the person and the situation, you can definitely mix a daytime and a nighttime look for somebody. It could be as simple as, starting out the day with a cool, 2 or 3 piece suit and ending it, or actually using, a tie and a pocket square. And then at the end of the day, taking off the tie, going open collar, maybe not using the vest and just, pulling out the casual, look to go to dinner, or just, even just using the jacket and throwing on a pair of jeans with the same, open collared shirts, a cool day to night look. So, yeah, I think there's a lot you can do with.
I really like that concept when traveling. Like, I always want to take the least amount of stuff as possible, probably like most people. But know that, hey, if I have a business event during the day and I want to make it more casual at night, I might just take a pair of jeans, different pair of shoes, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm the worst. I'm an overpacker, so I like to have an outfit for every day, and sometimes it's like I won't double wear the pant. I'll just,
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's like I can't ever just carry on a bag. It's always got to be checked, but I'm learning a lot with a few of my clients that travel quite a bit, that I dress often.
Yeah.
They'll tell me, they're going to be on, a TV show or, a speaking engagement, and they want to have outfits for X amount of days, and I'm learning a lot with them, just to pair one suit and maybe one jean and one sport coat, and then mix it with like 4 or 5 different shirts, different ties, different pocket squares to try to change it up, without packing up their bag like I would do.
So actually, I was hoping you were going to talk about him. So and it's a mutual friend of ours and a client of yours out of the Midwest, and he's a very successful advisor. He travels, he's on TV, so you've covered a lot of that. And I know that I think more so than I do even, he might reach out to you like, hey, what do you think about this? Should I put this outfit together? So tell about kind of the experience that you get for him. Yeah,
he's a great guy. I started working with him, obviously, it's been
a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while now. When I first met him, he didn't really, have too much direction, I'd say, with his style.
That's why I referred him to you.
Yeah. And he really has tightened it up, and we've had a lot of fun. But yeah, he's someone I talk to almost every day. I think I dress him for every
Is it daily
occasion.
now?
Oh yeah. I mean, he sends me pictures of his outfits, and I'll change things, or I'll give him suggestions for the next time if I don't love it. But I will say he's gotten a lot better with, mixing his patterns and his textures and his colors. But yeah, that's a big one for me. I've had a lot of fun and just getting to do all the styling now. I pretty much know his whole wardrobe.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and I know he's actually specifically reached out to me to say how much he appreciates meeting you and what you do for him. So
I love that, and I appreciate him. He's awesome.
Yeah. So 2 things that you mentioned there that I think are interesting. So first of all, pocket squares. I have this terrible, I guess I have addictive personality, what I'm learning, but certainly not only fashion and clothes, but pocket squares. Those are ridiculous now on how creative you can get with them, how it changes the look and the different style. That's kind of a thing now, right?
Oh yeah, pocket square is my go-to. I think that changes the game.
Yeah.
You can do so much with just a little piece of fabric.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I've given you so many pocket squares for different looks now.
That's right. I'm running out of room for them, and that's one of my favorite things to poke at Ron with is, hey Ron, I just cleaned out all the pocket squares. There's none left for you.
Yeah, he's a big pocket square guy, and we have
Yeah.
a lot of fun mixing and matching through all of his
Yeah.
outfits.
So speaking of mixing and matching, I think there's I'll call it a myth or an old belief that, you can't do pattern on pattern, or a certain type of pattern with a certain type of pattern. So that has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Not on me today, but well, kind of. The pocket square has a pattern in the
Yeah.
jacket. But just generally speaking, pattern on the tie, pattern on the suit, pattern on the shirt. You can actually pull it off if it's done correctly, right?
Oh, absolutely. My usual rule of thumb, just to help out somebody, is if you have a large window pane then on your suit, then do small patterns on your shirt. If you have small patterns on your suit, you could do larger patterns with your shirt. So that's kind of my go-to. It's kind of confusing, but just going back to the window pane, if you're doing your shirt, your jacket right now, you could do small stripes with the large window pane or small checks. You could definitely get away with that, or just a cool texture. It's all about mixing and matching, just not doing the same size pattern on pattern or the
Right.
same boldness. You got to kind of know when to step down and when to step up.
Yeah. And I think that also applies with certain colors, because you and I know someone who did a navy blue jacket with black pants.
That drives me crazy.
That is, I went bananas when I saw that.
I'm sneaking out of the room right now. Can I ask you a quick question? They always say, my father used to say, clothes make the man. He was a very stylish guy. He was a corporate executive and had a tailor. Can you give me examples where you think it's made a difference? I mean, obviously it makes people like Bart happier, and it's you stand out more. I get that. You look more professional. But can you give me any examples where you found some poor slob like me and you dressed him up and it made a difference here?
Absolutely. I've had a few clients that actually were referred to me from their bosses that are, just hey, take him under your wing, get him some outfits, because, his look isn't giving him that, serious edge that he needs. So I've definitely had to spice some things up before for a few clients and just...
And how do you figure out somebody's personal brand? I mean, if you took on somebody like that, how do you know what... You can dress them up any way you want, but it might not be authentic. They might not be comfortable in that.
Right. I think it's about getting to know your clients, building relationships. That's something that's been huge for me. Obviously there's some sales in my job, but I've, taken it upon myself to just take the time to learn about people, what they like, what they don't like, and who they are, and what they want their clothes to say about them. That's really what it comes to at the end of the day. I mean, I can dress anybody all day long in my style, but that's, their clothes need to speak for them. So.
Yeah, actually, I pulled this from your website because it's one of my favorite quotes. Is style is a way to say who you are without having to speak.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
And another thing Dave says all the time, I haven't heard him say it recently, but he used to say, he goes, I don't sell clothes. He says, I sell confidence.
Oh, yeah, that's a tagline of ours.
Yeah. And I think that answers your question a bit, Paul.
See, you're dumbstruck by these questions that I'm asking here. They're so basic, but I really think that's what it comes down to. Is I think style is something that you have to find for yourself, and I don't think my generation valued it, but I'm glad to see young people are again, and I think it does set you apart. We all talk about personal brands. How else do you establish it if not on the outside like that?
Absolutely. I think we live in such a visual world now. Everything's on social media. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to look the part, and dressing the part is obviously the first step towards that.
Agreed, 100%. Well, it looks like we are just about out of time, Melissa, so it's been a great pleasure having you in the studio with me today. And as you know from listening to my other shows, I have the honor of asking you the final thought question. So you know what it is, which is, what is your ultimate lesson learned over your career as a men's stylist?
Gosh, I have a few things I've learned. I think trust your gut has been a big one. Sometimes, I've made clothes where I played it safe and I knew I wanted to do something a little bit extra, and I've looked at it and I was like, gosh, wish I would have done that. Now I kind of take that extra step because I think that the uniqueness of it, changes the game, and that's part of my brand. So I really just follow that now and chase that edge a little bit more. That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned is that.
Well, I'm glad you use it on me.
Yeah, totally. See, I've gotten you to step out of the box when I first, started working with you. You were like, no, I don't want that. And now I'm just like, yeah, let me do it.
All right. Before we close up, Alyssa, what's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, gosh. Probably wine.
All right. I knew I left you for more reasons than that.
I like a good glass of Cabernet.
There we go. All right, Alyssa, thanks again for joining us in the studio today. And for anyone who wants to learn more about Alyssa or Bespoke, you can reach Alyssa at bespokestyle.com. That's ALYSSA at BSPOKE style.com. You can also visit the website at bespokestyle.com. Thanks so much to everyone who has tuned in. We look forward to being back in the studio next week. Cheers.
Tune in next week for the latest edition of the Zandbergen Report, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Catch up on our recent shows by visiting www.bartzandbergen.com. Interested in being a featured guest on our show or have a question you'd like to hear us answer on the Zandbergen Report? Email podcast@bartzandbergen.com.
The Zandbergen Report is a production of OC Talk Radio and is provided for educational purposes only. The content of this program and the views of the guests should not be considered as recommendations by OC Talk Radio or investment advice from the host, Bart Zandbergen, or any other entity attached to this production. Investors should always consult qualified financial, investment, tax, or legal professionals prior to investing.